Live from deep inside the Jaz McKay Metro Mansion Studios in beautiful downtown Oildale, California, USA. It's the Jaz McKay Podcast Extravaganza. And now, here he is, living proof that there is life after unemployment. Jaz McKay.
Jaz McKay. Right here behind the cast iron microphone of the Jaz McKay Metro Mansion Studios on a Saturday night right here in beautiful downtown Oildale, California, USA. All right. Here's the deal. Well, first of all, how about some banjo music? Can we get some banjo? There we go. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, that's enough banjo music. More banjo music to come here on the Jaz McKay radio. It's, well, no, wait, it's not radio. See, I keep forgetting about that. What I'm doing here is experimenting with the whole podcast thing on Facebook Live. I first wanted to tell you that I have gone and done it again. My buddy Danny Daniels' Facebook page, I killed it. I killed it again. I don't know what the hell I did, but for some damn reason I killed Danny's. He's been kind enough to let me use his Facebook page here recently. And something I did pissed off the Facebook gods. So they have blocked Danny again. However, it does appear that I still retain the live deal. Okay, I guess I can still do the live thing here. I come into my studio. I haven't been in my studio for about 4 or 5 days, and I come into the studio this afternoon, and my computer was dead. So I was planning on doing this a while back here a couple hours ago, but I had to do system restore and all kinds of other shit on my computer, and I don't know if it's actually working or not. I'm not sure if this is actually going anywhere. I see a little red light on the screen there. It looks like, okay, it's not a light. It's a little red. It's a little camera icon. Anyway, it's blinking. What in the hell does that mean? Does that mean are we actually on or not? I don't know. Nonetheless, you have to pardon me. I'm smoking inside again. I know I'm not supposed to. I know that's wrong of me, but I am. You notice I'm not wearing a mask on tonight. I normally would wear a mask because I wouldn't want you to catch whatever cooties that I have, through the microphone here, through the Sennheiser, into the computers and through the whole dadgum system to wherever you're at and make y'all sick. So I'm not wearing a mask, so please stand back. Cover. I hope you've got your mask on. Do you have your mask on? Is everybody, you can't watch this without wearing a mask. So I don't know what the hell I did, but I pissed off the Facebook gods again. And they have crashed Danny's page, but for some dadgum reason we're able to still do the live thing, and I don't know what the hell that means, but we are. So anyway, updates real quick. Still no unemployment. Going on 2 months of being unemployed, and I still don't have my unemployment. And I was told that it should be coming in soon. And then I get a letter. Do you ever get one of those letters that says we want to talk to you? Every time I have ever filed unemployment, I end up getting one of those letters that says, can we talk to you? We want to do a phone interview. And it's never good. That is not good when you get that dadgum letter that comes in the mail and says, we have a few questions for you, Mr. McKay. We have a few questions. We want to know a little bit more about your claim, your unemployment claim. Okay, so that'll be Thursday sometime between noon and 5. The letter said they'll call me, so I have to be around the house between noon and 5, waiting patiently by the phone. And I don't even know if they've got the right number. I sure hope they do. I've got several different phone numbers, just like I have several different social media sites. Let's put it that way. Anyway, bad news. Bad news. Did y'all hear? Fred Willard passed away. My wife told me about it. We both knew Fred Willard separately of each other. I knew Fred, I think I knew him probably before Laura actually did. I knew Fred Willard back in the mid to late 70s, around 1976. Fred Willard, for those of you that don't know, was on Fernwood Tonight, and then it became America Tonight. If you saw him, you'd know who he is because he's really quite famous as a comic actor and was really just one of the best. And let me tell you my story, my Fred Willard story, if I can tug on your coat about something here. Fred Willard I was in 1977, I was working in Los Angeles on Hollywood Boulevard. I worked at a gift store called the Scented Gift Garden. Actually, that was, it's a gift shop, but actually what it was a head shop. And we sold pipes, papers, and things like that there. And Fred would come in to the store. And the first time he came in, I just couldn't believe it, man. It's Fred Willard, because I was a huge fan of Mary Hartman, and Fernwood Tonight, which became America Tonight with Martin Mull. And those were two spinoff shows from the Mary Hartman series, the Mary Hartman Show. And so Fred Willard comes in, and I'm trying to be cool. I'm waiting on him here at the head shop. Well, we sold T-shirts and posters and, all the Hollywood memorabilia for the tourists there on Hollywood Boulevard. But so Fred comes in, and he's just acting real nonchalant with me. He's like, oh, can I look at that over there? Can I see this? Can I look at that? And then he says, oh, I want a T-shirt. He said, okay. So we go back to you actually made the T-shirts there. Well, not sewing, not the actual T-shirt, put the transfers on it. So he's looking around. He picks out some Hollywood logo. And so he has me make him a Hollywood T-shirt, which is what we usually did for the tourists. Then he's looking and he says, oh, I want this. And he shows me the design, and it's a Donnie and Marie design. Donnie Osmond, Marie Osmond, very popular in those days with their little Donnie and Marie television program. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. So I made him 2 T-shirts, a Hollywood T-shirt and then a Donnie and Marie shirt. And then he started digging through our poster selection. Remember the posters? You guys remember posters back in the day? When you go into the store and the posters are on this big, huge, it was like a big booklet. And each poster is on the booklet. And down below, the posters are all rolled up and stuck in the little bins. And they've all got numbers associated with them, A34. And you go over here, row A, right there, 34. There's my poster. And guess what he did? He bought a Bee Gees poster. He wanted a Bee Gees poster, a Hollywood T-shirt, and a Donnie and Marie T-shirt. So we get up to the counter, and I said, is there anything else, Mr. Willard? I knew who he was, so I was calling him Fred Willard. I said, is there anything else you want, Mr. Willard? And he said, yeah, let me look at those. Do you have any vials? Now, we were a head shop, and we sold mostly pot stuff, but we also sold cocaine stuff. And I said, yes, we have some vials. What size? He said, well, the gram size, please. And we sold these little amber vials, like about that big. And I think they were 10 for $1. They were 10 cents a piece. And we sold these little vials for putting for packaging cocaine. They actually did that back in the day. When I was doing drugs, It was a very long time ago, boys and girls. Don't do drugs. Stay away from drugs. When I was doing that stuff, it was always in a little tiny Ziploc baggie, okay, which I think is the way they still, either that or it's folded up into a $1 bill. But actually in the 70s, it wasn't uncommon for cocaine to be sold in little vials, little teeny tiny vials like that. So he bought, and like I said, they were 10 for $1. He bought 500 vials. I had to go into the back room to go into the back room. We didn't have enough under the counter. He wanted 500 vials, 1 gram cocaine vials. So I sold them to him. And then we got to talking, and I knew who he was. And so I was just kind of ecstatically happy that I was actually meeting, because I'm a young guy. I'm a kid. I'm 19 years old, 18 years old, from Texas, working at this hippie store, this little head shop there on Hollywood Boulevard. And Fred Willard, which he was one of the a lot of folks' favorite roles he played was, I think he was a general, wasn't he, at an Air Force base in this is Spinal Tap, when they were, when Spinal Tap played at the Air Force Base, and I think he was a lieutenant or a captain or a general or something. He played that role, and so anyway, he became a regular customer of mine at the head shop there in Hollywood at the Scented Gift Garden on Hollywood Boulevard, and he passed away today. I guess he was on Modern Family too. Okay, I guess he was on Modern Family. I don't watch. I've seen Modern Family. I don't watch it. But Fred Willard, comic actor, best known to me anyway as the lovable sidekick of Martin Mull in Fernwood Tonight and America Tonight. Comic actor, considered to be one of the absolute greatest ad-lib guys of all time. And he passed away, I guess, yesterday. He was 86 years old. God bless him. They say he played in Modern Family. I've never seen, I've seen the show maybe once or twice. My wife watches it. But he was also in Best in Show. He's in a bunch of movies. I believe he played, he was in Everybody Loves Raymond. That's right. I almost forgot about that. He played somebody's dad. Was it? It was one of the characters' fathers or somebody. Anyway, so we're mourning the loss today of good old Fred Willard. Man, he was something special. He was one of the good ones. He was really one of the good ones. So anyway, lots of stuff going on. I wanted to talk real briefly about this story, which broke middle of last week, and I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Y'all remember Fast and Furious, don't you? Remember Fast and Furious? Not the movie. The non-scandal scandal of the Barack Obama administration, the one that I feel like was probably the most scandalous of all possible scandals any president could have had. But to hear Barack Obama tell it, he was the most unremarkable president ever in history of the United States, because he never had one scandal. This Fast and Furious, if you don't know, was a deal set up with the ATF, okay, and the FBI. The Justice Department was in charge of this. Eric Holder's plan was to sell as many guns as possible to Mexican drug cartels, knowing that they would be used in murders in Mexico. Then the guns would be left behind. Now, the people selling the guns didn't want to sell the guns to the drug dealers coming across the border into Texas and Arizona, but they were ordered to do so by the Department of Justice, by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. they were calling saying, hey, look, I got this guy. He was in last week. He bought a bunch of AR-15s, and he's buying some more, and I called you last week, and you told me, and he's back to buy more. Should I be selling to him? He's not even an American citizen. Yeah, go ahead and sell it to him. The idea was supposedly they were going to trace these guns. They were going to chase these cats into Mexico and find the guns. And when they find the guns, I don't know, I never understood how this was supposed to work. But when they find the guns, they would find the drug dealers. Well, the drug dealers took the guns, murdered people in Mexico, left the guns behind to be found. And why would you do that? Why would you take a gun, one use, a disposable AR-15 rifle? Why on earth would you do that? Well, simple. That way, the serial numbers on the guns left behind at the crime scenes could be traced back to the American gun stores in Texas and Arizona, so that Barack Obama could use this as a way of clamping down on the Second Amendment, saying, look what's happening. They're selling guns to drug cartel members. And look at everything that's happening here in this country. Now take a look what's happening in Mexico. The poor Mexican people are getting killed by these guns that we're selling so willy-nilly here in the U.S. Well, as it turned out, Cheryl Atkins ended up breaking this news story while this was going on. And there was an investigation. Wait a minute. Here it is. An investigation. A congressional investigation. My ass, there was an investigation. There was no investigation. And Eric Holder was told about it, and he said, well, I never heard of such a thing. Well, of course you did. You had FBI agents and ATF agents that ended up going on, just literally disappearing off the face of the planet. But right before they did, they said, yeah, he knew. And if you recall, just before the story broke, Hillary Clinton, who was Secretary of State at the time, was in Mexico talking about how we got to do something about our gun laws because and this is before the Fast and Furious thing was ever found out, we got to do something about our gun laws because too many people are buying guns and giving them away to Mexican drug cartel members. That's what the Hildebeest was talking about. In Mexico at a big shindig about cross-border violence that she took part in back when she was the Secretary of State. So anyway, it just kind of, the story went away. Unfortunately, it was one of those situations where Congress investigated this much and then just dropped the whole damn thing. But it's back in the news, folks. Mexico's president wants Fast and Furious investigated again. The Fast and Furious gun-running scandal that hit former President Barack Obama's administration and then disappeared soon after it was publicized. Apparently is coming back. It's surfacing. Mexico's president, that would be President Andres Obrador, Old Barn Door, as they call him down there. Mexican President Andres Obrador wants information on the operation in an effort, this according to redstate.com, to root out corruption that is still going on in his country in Mexico. I know what you're saying. Corruption in Mexican government, in the Mexican government? You got to be kidding. Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador has said that his government would send a diplomatic note to Washington, D.C. for more information on the 2009-2011 operation known as Fast and Furious. Now, this is interesting as this is happening right now. And I believe at this time when we're finding out everything we are finding out about the FBI and how absolutely corrupt the FBI and undoubtedly Eric Holder, not just the last few months of the Obama administration, folks, it goes all the way back the full 8 years of the Obama administration. Do you suppose that Barr's investigation and Durham's investigation has led them, let's say, into the Fast and Furious story? Because I think it did. I think there's a darn good chance that they've uncovered some things. And I wouldn't be surprised if what's happened is that there's been some communication between President Ordondor Orondor. Gosh dang it, I can't pronounce the poor man's name. President of Mexico, and we'll just call him Andre. President Andre of Mexico. I think there may be some communications going back and forth between Barr, Durham, and President Andre. And obviously, I would think the president of Mexico would want to know about this stuff. So now that may be what we also will see coming. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. He has said, this president of Mexico, that this is not over as far as they're concerned. And I'm glad to see somebody talking about it again, because what this was an operation to try and turn everybody against the Second Amendment, to turn everybody against guns. This was an operation that was put in place, fast and furious, with the most ludicrous and ridiculous idea that we let the guns go into Mexico, and then when we find the guns, we'll find the drug cartel members. What? Now, actually, the Mexican president Andre, has said that really what he's or Dre, we'll just call him President Dre, that what Dre is most concerned about is the cross-border stuff. More so that than just, gang members coming across the border and purchasing guns from us, but the fact that he considers this to be a breach of their state sovereignty. And it is. It really is. And I wish him luck. I hope they're able to investigate in Mexico. And I hope Trump's Justice Department is able to do some more investigation. I really would like to know more about this. I want to see heads roll. Actually, I want to see heads roll, and then I want to see heads on a stick. I don't know about you, but I want to see heads on a stick. I want to see heads on a pike, okay? Anybody see what was that movie where they did the prison riot, where they had the prison and the warden's head ends up on a stick? I want to see stuff like that. I want to see these people go to prison. I want to see heads on a stick. Damn it! This is this is just the tip of the iceberg. And let me explain something to you, because I'm not sure. I sometimes wonder if folks are fully aware of why there is so much animosity towards Trump. We know it's on the Democrat side, but why is there so much animosity regarding Donald Trump from the never-Trumpers? We haven't heard a whole lot about these cats, but when you stop and you think about it, the never-Trumpers, the Republicans, the so-called Republicans, the so-called Republican conservatives, who have been so opposed to Trump from the get-go, and you know who I'm talking about. I don't have to name any names, but what is it about these cats? Originally, McConnell, and certainly Lindsey Graham. Do you trust Lindsey Graham? Any of you? Do you trust Senator Graham any further than you can throw him? He talks like he's a big supporter of Donald Trump. I'm not. I will never trust that guy. Never have and never will. But you know why these Republican never-Trumpers are so anti-Donald Trump? And it's the same reason as the Democrats are. They're scared shitless. They are scared to death. Why? Because they are as dirty and as corrupt as the Democrats are. Don't make any mistake about that. They hate Trump because they're scared to death of being found out. They're scared to death of being exposed for being that's the dirty little secret in Washington, D.C., is that this corruption, this level of corruption that we see in Washington, D.C., involving James Comey and Brennan and Clapper and all that, that's the tip of the fucking iceberg right there. It is the tip of the iceberg. Anybody, I mean anybody, who doesn't support Donald Trump, anybody who's working to undermine Donald Trump, to get him out of office or discredit him, get him to lose in the 2020 election coming up, they're doing it because they're afraid. They are afraid that they're going to end up in prison. Yeah, they're afraid they're going to lose their cushy jobs, but that this guy means business. Trust me, there's so much corruption running deep through that swamp, more so than just this little Russia thing or this Obamagate thing. There is so much freaking corruption, and it's both sides. Now, look, you can dislike his rude tweets. You can dislike him because you're a liberal and he's a flag-waving American patriot. I don't care about that. You can hate him because you think he's a racist. He's not, or he's a sexist, but these people, that is just an excuse. That is just an excuse. It is 100% fear. From day one, they didn't believe that Trump was actually going to. Why do you think? Once he became the candidate back in 2016, 2015, he's talking about running. He's going to run, and he does. Why do you think when he was just the nominee, we heard about Republicans? Of course, this is the media, too. They love doing this. They love to try and divide conservatives. But why did you hear so many Republicans, not a whole lot, but some, and more than you would think, who said, we're voting for Hillary. We're voting for Hillary. Why? I'll tell you why. They're dirty. You want to know which Republicans, or so-called Republicans, so-called conservatives, in Washington, D.C. are dirty? They're the ones that are not behind Trump 100%. Those are the dirty ones. Those are the dirty. It's so easy to read these people. I don't know. How can you not get it? How can you not get it? I don't care. This goes beyond being an elected official, too. Every federal agency, every federal department, everybody in or out of power. Think about that for a moment. There's a trail. Even those that are not in office anymore, or who are not serving in various departments or agencies, in or out of power, politicians and bureaucrats. It doesn't matter. This is how you know. Whoever's dirty in Washington, D.C., I don't give a damn about politics. I'm not talking. This has nothing to do with politics. The hatred of Donald Trump, anybody who is so vehemently opposed to Donald Trump, and this includes the lamestream media. This includes your MSNBC and CNN people, because they're dirty too. We know that now because they were inviting all these people on. You know, they're inviting all these politicians to come on and talk about the Russian hoax. What is now, we know 150% is a hoax, and let them lie. Let them lie. Listen, all those assholes over at CNN and MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, the networks, all of them, they knew Trump was innocent. They knew there was no collusion between Donald Trump. In fact, the collusion was going on with the damn Democrats. And that's another thing. You can always tell what the Democrats are doing. You know how to tell what a Democrat is doing? Just listen to what they're accusing the opposition of. Whatever the Democrat Party is accusing the Republican Party of, that means they're doing it. When they accuse Republicans or conservatives of wanting to, have dirty air and dirty water, that's what they're doing. When they accuse Republicans or conservatives of wanting to kill Granny or they wanting to starve kids or any of that crap, That's what the Democrats are doing. It's real easy to figure them out. They're not that complicated. And the same is true. It's real easy to tell who the dirty Republicans are. And those are the ones that are either quiet and kind of staying back in the background, not saying anything, or that are vehemently opposed to anything Donald Trump does. Do not doubt me on this one. Do not doubt me on this one. I'm telling you. There are some dirty-ass Republicans out there. I want to hear some more banjo music. How about you? Yeah, banjo music. All right, that's enough of that. But you know what I'm talking about, folks. I'm sure you do. I'm sure that you are very well aware. Well, apparently my video died. Can you still hear me? It says we're having trouble playing this video here on my screen. Wait a minute. Let me click over here. I wasn't paying any attention. I looked away for a moment, and I'm kind of curious. Let's see. Are we still? Oh, it's still going. Oh, it reached the end at 25 minutes. I guess I'm only allowed to do that much. Okay. It is on. Chris Davis tells me it's still on. Well, I'm looking. It's just all right. Yeah, I trust you, Chris. I trust you that it's still on. It says they're having trouble here with this thing. I don't know. But Chris says it's still on. And Shane, yeah, it is. Okay, good deal. Well, shall we play some more banjo music, guys? Look, something else I wanted to talk about just real quick here this evening is, and there's been some speculation on this, and some folks are wondering exactly what is going to happen in California or throughout the country come November. And I'm just going to say, I've got a really good feeling about November. I know that, and I'm sure you do too, that this whole COVID thing is a hoax. Well, I got to be careful when I say a hoax. There is a virus. I think we can all agree with that. But it is not what they're presenting it as being. Okay? That's the thing. It's not what they're presenting it as. The fact of the matter is that the virus is being used and being abused by the left in this country in order to try and affect the election. They really, and believe me, it's going to affect the election. Why on earth did they start talking about, of all things, mail-in ballots? We can go stand in line to check out at the Home Depot. We can go check out and stand in line at the Walmart. But we'll all die if we stand in line to vote. What a bunch of bullshit that is. So ultimately, I think what they're planning on is to try and steal the elections, certainly here in California. But this is why we have got to get out there and vote, whether we're getting out to our mailbox to get the ballot or we're getting out to an actual voting place. The fact is, I think they've overplayed their hand. I wouldn't be surprised. Do you know, we've been talking about here in California about a recall against Gavin Newsom. Do you know that in L.A., there are elected officials in L.A. talking about filing an impeachment against Garcetti? That little Hitler needs to go. That little shit. What's his name? Eric Garcetti? That dude needs to go. He needs to be gone. He needs to be gone. And I hope that the people of Los Angeles support whatever action is taken against Eric Garcetti. The mayor of Los Angeles needs to go. Now, there was something we talked about a while back. It's called AB 5, and this was an assembly bill here in California that was the intent was to put independent contractors and freelancers out of work. And it did. And a lot of folks complaining about it, bitching and moaning about AB 5. It was a Democrat Party payback to the labor unions. The labor unions, they got together, they wrote this bill, essentially outlawing freelance work and independent contractors. There's a lot of details to it, but I'm not going to go into. But there's a woman by the name of Hannah Beth Jackson. She is a state senator representing the 19th District in Ventura County. And some people got together. They had a little town hall meeting over there, and they were complaining. And do you know what she said to the people complaining about losing their jobs? She actually said, "You're just upset because we took away your lollipops." Now, besides the fact that that's just the strangest analogy I have ever heard in my life, comparing somebody's job to a tasty confection doesn't quite make any sense. But that's what she did. And this did not sit well with a lot of people. And I'm telling you, with what happened in the 25th District the other day, with Mike Garcia beating out whatever the damn Democrat was, first time in 22 years that a Republican has flipped a seat in California, a Democrat-held seat to a Republican. First time in 22 years. Now, you got to admit, that's pretty impressive. I believe that the Democrat Party, with their embracing of the lockdown bullshit and the social distancing bullshit and all the other stuff, I think it's starting to get to people. And listen, if they do what I think they're going to do and continue to overplay their hand and take it right up to November, it ain't going to hurt Trump. It is not going to hurt Trump, folks. It's going to hurt the Democrats. They've overplayed their hand big time, and they're still doing it. And it really isn't any big surprise. This is kind of what they do. This is not at all a big surprise. This is kind of what they do. Yeah, they're on a power trip. They're on a huge power trip. They're loving every minute of this. But believe you me, they have overstepped their boundaries, and they have overestimated what they think is this hatred for Donald Trump and for Republicans, to the point that they are bringing themselves down. So now here's my take on it. And I know, hang on, let me get a sip of water here. Yes, I know. Notifications coming in on my phone. Can you see me? I mean, is the camera working? Because according to my screen here, it says the camera is not working. I hope you can't see me because I'm naked. I just stripped off all my clothes. I'm buck naked right now behind the cast iron microphone of the Jaz McKay Show studio. No, I know you can still see me. But listen to me. I think they've overplayed their hand. I think it's pretty serious. And so from here on out, go out and protest if you want to. I do. It's not going to make any difference, but that's fine. We should welcome more. I know this is crazy to say this, and it sounds even crazier coming from a guy who haven't even got no unemployment. My wife just got her Social Security cut off again. We got no money coming in. We got zero money coming in. But I'm thinking about what's best for California, and I hate to say this, but I think more lockdown. Because you know what? It's the only person it's going to hurt, the only person it's going to damage is any Democrat running for office in November. And I think that's true nationwide. Gil Garcetti, here in California. Excuse me. Gil Garcetti, here in talking too damn much. Hang on. Gil Garcetti, in Los Angeles, I think he's in serious fucking trouble. Gavin Newsom. Now, he's not up for re-election, is he? He's not up for re-election this year. We might be able to get that recall thing going again. I never had any faith in the recalls. I really didn't have any faith in the recall of Gray Davis, and thankfully I was wrong. But look what we got afterwards. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, we need somebody with name recognition to run for governor. That's for damn sure. We need a conservative, not a crazy-ass fucking bodybuilder guy. But seriously, let them do their lockdown thing. The only people they're hurting are themselves. I swear to you. As crazy as it sounds, I think the more people that are locked down, the more they push the lockdown, folks, the more they push this stay-at-home shit and they don't let stores open, and this is nationwide, every single day that any Democrat politician in this country refuses to allow stores and businesses to open, every single day that they put into place some you got to wear a mask if you leave your house bullshit is another nail in the Democrat coffin. I sense it. I do. I sense it. I feel it. I'm telling you, every single day that they continue to push this little Hitler bullshit is another nail in their coffin. Trust me on that one. All right. Now, barring any unforeseen circumstances, I should be starting my podcast in 2 weeks. I got to wait till I get everything squared away on Facebook and also all these other things going on in my private life. But please go to the website twitch.com, okay, and do a search. The page is up. Do a search for The Jaz McKay Show at twitch.com. Twitch, right? TWICH. Twitch.com. And please ignore all the little video gamers there, please. But in the search engine, please put in the THE, Jazz, J-A-Z, J-A-Z, not J-A-Z-Z, J-A-Z, The Jaz McKay Show. And when it comes up and you'll see the little page there, click follow. Start following me now. We're going to have the website and everything ready to rock and roll probably around the 28th or 29th of May. And we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm telling you, I got to learn how to operate it, but it should be relatively easy. All right. So please do that. Please pray that these unemployment people actually give me the unemployment of which I so richly deserve. They sent me a letter saying, hey, yeah, we're not sure. We think we better have to talk to you. Every single time I have ever had to do a phone interview, it's never been good. I've never been denied my unemployment once I go to the appeals process. I just don't want to have to do that. I don't want to. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I don't want to have to do that and have to get Wayne, my buddy Wayne, to go with me again. I already owe him a steak dinner from last time. Wayne, don't worry, Wayne. I'll take care of you one of these. As soon as I open up the steak houses, all right? That's going to do it. I'm going inside. Going to watch Noir Alley on, what is it, TCM. Love Noir Alley. It's the one damn show. Well, I watch Shark Tank and never miss Tucker Carlson on Fox News. But it is the one just get away from it all show I never miss. Great movies on Turner Classic Movies, TCM. And I'll be watching whatever show it is tonight. Actually, I think it's another foreign damn film tonight. So if I don't watch that, I'll be watching Mildred Pierce from last. Oh, and tomorrow, NASCAR again. Where are we at? Is it Martinsville? Is it going to be real racing now? Does anybody know? Is it really, are they in cars? This isn't a video game, right? They're not playing video games again, right? This is a real, they're in real cars, am I right? On a track. There's just nobody in the stands. That's fine. That's what I was saying all along. When the day they canceled NASCAR in the first place. Who gives a rat's ass? Keep the races going. We want to keep the point system running. What are they going to do with points? I haven't watched any show. I haven't read a damn thing. Hello, Rhonda. There's Rhonda down there, and she says, hello. How'd you get Jaz McKay in bold? Rhonda Hicks Edwards. How did you do that? That is magic right there. So, yeah, and as far as anything else on Facebook other than live, guess what I'm not doing? Anything else on Facebook other than live. I can do live Facebook, but apparently I went and did something. Of course, Facebook hasn't told me what I did to poor Danny's page, Danny Daniels' Facebook page, which I commandeered almost a month ago. I'll be back on regular Facebook, Jaz McKay and Jazariah McKay, after the 28th, sometime around the 28th of May, barring any other unforeseen circumstances, all right? So y'all have a great rest of your night, and trust me, I'll be yakking at you tomorrow. And rest in peace, Fred Willard. By the way, if anybody heard my Fred Willard story, I really didn't conclude it, and maybe I should have, but back in the day, when Fred Willard was coming into the head shop that I used to work at on Hollywood Boulevard back in 1977, 78, and he was buying gram vials, cocaine vials, because good old Fred, and I guess I can say it now that he's gone, shouldn't speak ill of the dead, and I don't, but Fred was one of the big prime coke dealers in Hollywood back in the 70s. Oh, man, he was a hoot. Great actor, a great comic actor, and a fun guy to talk to. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. God bless America. I love you guys, man. Take care. I'll see you.